North Carolina just picked up a commitment from class of 2023 power forward Zayden High, but there's no time to rest in the recruiting game in college basketball. And so today, Sports Illustrated's Jason Jordan joins me to talk about class of 2024 point guard Elliot Cadeau.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, it's Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Shade, and I want to thank you for making our show your first listen or your first watch every single day. Please don't forget that we are free and available anywhere you get podcasts, so you can subscribe right now to make sure you don't miss a second of your team every day. I want to tell you about something really exciting coming up this Saturday. Coach Pat Kilby and I are hosting a live rewatch of Carolina's Final Four victory over Duke on the Locked On Tar Heels YouTube page. We're going to be chatting and watching the game all in real time, so make sure to mark your calendar to join us for that. It's going to be a great opportunity. And this week's Drive for 5 giveaway is going to take place during that. The giveaway this week is in the original wrapper Final Four program from last year's Final Four. All you have to do to be entered to win is to subscribe to the Locked On Tar Heels YouTube page. Go ahead and knock that out right now. Mark your calendars. Can't wait to see you for the Final Four rewatch. Right now, let's get right into talking about Elliot Cadeau. Hard to believe we are now less than 3 weeks away from the tip-off of the 2022-23 college basketball season. But folks, the recruiting wheel never stops turning. And so today, Jason Jordan, Sports Illustrated's Director of Basketball Recruiting, joins me to talk about Elliot Cadeau. I know Carolina just picked up this commitment on Sunday from Zayden High, but like I said, recruiting never stops. And so we take a look ahead to this class of 2024 guard in Elliot Cadeau. And Jason, let's start here. Many people have Cadeau as the number one guard in the class of 24. Where are you looking at him as you think about your SI 99?
Yeah, so he set out his whole sophomore year with the ankle injury, and so he kind of was only at 100%. He told me this a couple weeks ago. He's only at 100% at Peach Jam, and he did very well at Peach Jam. And then he did very well in the FIBA U18 when everybody was on him because he had the 36-point game in the championship. And so, and I think he would even say for that reason, he kind of wants to show and prove a little more. Now,
Right.
I mean, projection-wise, you look at what he did at Peach Jam. It was, one of his best games was against CP3, which is you guys' old friend. I won't name him. And Robert Dillingham, and that cast of characters they have on that team. So a lot of people were opening their eyes when that game came, but he was dominant the whole Peach Jam. So, and I think he'll thrive this year at Link. They have another traveling all-star team, but he's definitely up there. If you want to say he's a top guard, cool. But I want to see more. Yep. And he's the kind of person, he's wired to be okay with that. Like he wants to show you more because he feels like he hasn't proven enough. And I agree with that. I think, we need to see a little more. Yeah, they have a tremendously tough schedule, so we'll be able to see him against the best. Do I think he'll continue to ascend? Yeah, I do. I think he's that good. So, I think even at the end of the day, he probably will be up there. But, I think it's fair to say that we want to see a little bit more.
Yeah, we want to see it. We're talking about Elliot Cadeau here today on Locked On Tar Heels with Jason Jordan from Sports Illustrated. And by the way, we'd like to thank LinkedIn Jobs for being the official college recruiting sponsor across the Locked On College Network. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. So, Jason, as you said, Elliot had this huge game a little while ago. What is it that, to get nearly 40 points against high-level elite competition like that, what is it in his game that's allowing him to fill out the points that much?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is his IQ. A lot of people point to his versatility and athletic ability, but just the way he reads the defense and uses those physical abilities is exceptional. he really is the guy that, cliche as it sounds, thinks 3 plays ahead. So he's looking at areas to throw to or areas to attack that could be vulnerable to play, like 2 movements from now. He thinks like that,
The hockey assist.
Yeah, for real. Like he throws to an area for a teammate, right? So I think that to me is more impressive. Now, I mean, he's super shifty, gets to the rim at will. He's 6'2", and he has a 45-inch vertical.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
So, and if you watch him, you see that's 45-inch vertical, right? So I would say those are the biggest things, but just, and it's even more impressive. He told me he's a pass first guy. Even now he considers himself a pass first guy, but he's a gifted scorer, but he only started scoring in the last couple of years. Like, he never really focused on that because he was always trying to make the winning play. And so he had to like go into he told me he went to like a B-level league to just work on his offense a few years ago. And he just dominated. And so it was kind of organic the way it came, but he wanted to fine tune those things. Obviously that worked out pretty well because he's now the total package. But he still considers himself a pass first point guard. And I do too, just watching him play. You can see that he just wants to make the right play. And that's what you want in your lead guard for sure.
Absolutely. And that seems to be such a rarity this day and age. It feels like every lead guard is some form of combo guard that's like, I'm going to get my shots off and I'll pass when I have to, when I get double teamed or something. How refreshing is it for you as someone that sees recruits all the time to see somebody who's legitimately, not just saying it to say it, but legitimately a pass first guard that's added scoring later?
Yeah, that's rare. And that's cool. It says a lot about the kind of person he is and, how he approaches the game. So that is, to your point, very refreshing. And but it says a lot about him as a person, like genuine kid, really doesn't put a whole lot of stock into the noise that we create. Right. But that's what we do. Right. Just really works to try and get better. And, a lot of guys say that, but then they're on Instagram, doing whatever. But he really does it. Like he really puts his head down and works. And that is definitely something that's refreshing for sure.
Well, yeah, and even what you're talking about, like somebody that sat out his whole sophomore year last year, and so was like, no, I don't want the accolades. I need to prove it. Somebody that's willing to go to a B-level league competition that has the humility to realize, like, hey, I've got a little bit more of this that I need to work on. So let me go into the lab and do that and come out a little more fully formed. Why is that type of drive and initiative something that's going to allow him to succeed at the Division I level?
Well, it's a mentality, right? So, like, let's say he comes to Carolina, he's going to be surrounded by a traveling all-star team. So you can't do what you want to do, right? Like you can't. It's going to be Hubert's way or the highway, and that's how it is there, and in most high major Power Fives, So you have to be able to buy in to your role. Now, his role is the most important role on the floor because he has to be, the quarterback. He has to be the extension of the coach on the floor. So for him, of all of the 5 players, he needs to be the guy to buy in. And so with him, like way ahead of the curve there, because a lot of these guys are egomaniacs, right? Respectfully, but when he has the buy-in attitude, that's just gonna make the team, that's gonna make the engine drive a lot smoother. The oil's going to be working better. The piston's going to be working a lot better. And when he's buying in, we're all going to be a little bit more successful. If coaches are honest, that's the truth.
Yep. Yeah. And you love to see that. So Jason just talked about some connections to North Carolina, the possibility about what things might look like if he comes to Chapel Hill. We're going to talk more specifically about that and his actual recruitment right after I tell you about Upside. From cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts. And boy, does it hurt. So that's why I've started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or goes out to eat. With every purchase, I'm earning cash back thanks to Upside. I legitimately use this app every time I stop at the gas pump. The prices were insane this summer. They're rising again. So I'm always looking to see where can I get the most money off. And boy, Upside is helping me save some money. To get started, download the free Upside app. Use my promo code LOCKED and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week. That's probably why the app has a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. So download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCKED to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Again, that's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using promo code LOCKED. Okay, Jason. So we're talking here about Elliot Cadeau today on Locked on Tar Heels. We've talked some about his game. Now let's get into his recruitment. He has already taken now 2 official visits, one down to Lubbock to Texas Tech, and one a couple weekends ago to North Carolina. Has an official this coming weekend to Louisville. This is a young man that's from New Jersey that's currently, as you said just a little bit ago, down in Branson, Missouri, here in my neck of the woods, about an hour and a half away from me. And so this guy has some options seemingly all over the country now. And so what do you see unfolding thus far in his recruitment?
Well, I think, when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, he was really very much in the I'm staying open stage, because he feels like, to your point, a lot of people say he's the top guard. And, some people are saying he's the top player, right? So I think he wants what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? So he wants all the options that come with that. And so him sitting out, him just only being at 100% in July, late July, even with all the upward trajectory of his, shall we call it, hype, I think he still doesn't have all the offers that guy that we're saying should have, right? Yeah. And so, and then we always talk about it, we got a market now. We got a market. So
That's right.
We need to pull in those fan bases. You have to. These are all things that matter, right? Kentucky's involved. I think other programs are going to get involved. Texas is involved. He grew up a Texas Tech fan, which is kind of funny because respectfully, Texas Tech. I just have never heard that before on the basketball end. But he said it was in 2019 when they made the Final Four run when he really started watching college basketball. So he was like, "That's my dream offer." I was like, "Okay, cool. I love it," right? Because I usually or Duke or
or Kentucky, Kansas,
Kansas. So I thought that was kind of cool. But from his standpoint, it's definitely going to be slow motion. Now, a lot of people are saying he could potentially reclassify, and that's something we always got to watch with a guy in his seat. And I think he could academically. So any guy who could academically, they usually do, especially in the chair he's sitting in. Like I look at guys like him, and then the guys in the class below him that are like through the roof, marketable, like Cooper Flagg and Cameron Boozer and those guys. I always think they're going to reclass. That's one of my first questions to anybody. Are you reclassing? Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. I catch all that. So yeah, I think at this point he's slow motion with it, and I think he wants to pick up more and more offers and get more and more interest in that regard. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And in terms of specifically his visit to North Carolina a couple weeks ago, he was there for Carolina's version of Late Night, which they call Live Action. One of the things I have heard Elliot talk about since then is this is just what Coach Hubert Davis does. Like, I went to Coach Davis's house and had breakfast with he and his family. Is that like, for those who don't keep tabs as much on recruiting, is that a normal thing or is that an atypical thing?
No, that's normal. They usually go to the coach's house and have dinner. Breakfast is different. That's cool. But what is atypical in y'all's favor, and I say this all the time, respectfully, everybody's not Hubert Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like, some things you just can't duplicate. Like some things you just, like a genuine personality That's hard to replicate. And I know a lot of these coaches,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are awkward. You know, a lot of them are. They're kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Especially talking to a kid, they don't in real life outside of basketball, they're not relating to them. You know what I'm saying? So Hubert's a gem for you guys. I hope y'all know that. He's definitely a guy who takes his time to relate with these kids on a lot of different levels, and he nurtures relationships. So that's something I always respect because I'm a guy who nurtures relationships. So and that definitely resonates with the players he's recruiting. I'll say that. Yeah.
Man, you love to hear it. Now, as we look at the class of 2024, we've talked about a few weeks ago, Boogie Fland, who Carolina is recruiting as a guard as well, versus Elliot Cadeau. And with only so many scholarships to go around, you kind of have to be wise with who you're offering and what that looks like as you look at these two young men comparatively. And I know we're still early in the process, as you talk about a little bit of a slow Elliot Cadeau is looking at maybe a spring commitment prior to AAU. How would you look at these two young men comparatively?
Well, there are a lot of similarities. I think Boogie's probably a better perimeter shooter. But Boogie, they're both super shifty. Ellie's definitely more athletic. But both of them, are super competitors and bring a lot of energy from that guard spot. And so they're both great leaders and, great high IQ guys. Boogie's a super high IQ guy. He's also a guy who can pass the areas. So it's going to be interesting to see, and these things shake out. I mean, as long as there is time, the process just tends to, things happen, commitments happen. People don't keep in touch as much, and these guys elevate. This visit elevated this, and this, those things work out. Even it could be a month, and things will change. Things change, and neither one of these guys are going to decide anytime soon.
Right?
Like anytime soon. I'm confident of that, and given that none of this stuff is in stone, I'm confident of those two guys not deciding anything soon. So
yes, especially
But you're talking 2 5-star high level point guards. So you could just close your eyes and pick. So and then I think we have to, but Boogie's been doing it more consistently over time. So you kind of have to give him the nod just because he's done it consistently. Elliot, no fault of his own, was hurt,
Yep.
But Boogie's been doing it consistently against high level players. And he hasn't been he took a little, he was hurt last year, but he came back and he was dominant, and he's been playing a lot longer. So I'm trying to think. I was looking at their schedule. Do they meet this year?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be interesting.
They may meet. Yeah. I got to look at their schedule again, but that would be a great matchup. That would be a great matchup. Yeah.
Well, so for Elliot Cadeau, obviously, many schools around the country have a great lineage of lead guards, but North Carolina is certainly one of those. And when you think past first point guards, you trace back to the early 2010s and a young man named Mr. Kendall Marshall, who was that pitch ahead, but less of a scoring threat than perhaps Elliot Cadeau was. If you're Hubert Davis, who are you pointing to try to sell someone like an Elliot Cadeau or a Boogie Fland?
That you all have had?
Yes.
Are you
yes.
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Man, that's tough. I mean, Kendall, like you said, Kendall was a pass first guy. I mean, you look at a guy like, I would even go earlier than that. You can look at Ed Cota.
Ed Cota,
yeah. Guy. Super pass first extraordinaire. But then, they don't, to your point, they don't have the scoring prowess these guys do. So yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, because the system is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
exactly.
and then that will be something that people will use against you too. You can come here and thrive, and you can get downhill and score at will and stuff like that. But you look at a guy like Kobe White. I mean, look at Kobe White, look at Cole Anthony. So those guys, I mean, they could point to that, but then that would help too because it's more recent.
Right,
so you look at Kobe White, you look at Cole Anthony, you say, "Hey, lottery. I mean, what are we doing? You want to be a millionaire?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, those would be the two examples I would point to.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there are a lot of similarities, especially with Cole. And I mean, Cole probably was like a 43 inch vertical. Cole would probably say 48, knowing Cole. But
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah. So I would say those are the two most recent that I would point to. And,
Okay.
Caleb. Look at Caleb.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
pass first guy, not afraid to take that shot.
No, he's not.
And Caleb, not afraid to take that shot. So it looks like they're trending in the way of the Boogie, of the Elliot. And I know Hubert definitely wants to play that fast and have that guy at the controls who can, call his own number. And has the IQ and the sense to play off his instincts. So those guys are definitely the best in show in that class for that role.
Okay. Well, we are going to have to keep tabs on Elliot Cadeau and how his recruitment continues to unfold. As we said, he is visiting Louisville this coming weekend, so we'll look to see what happens coming out of that visit. As we said earlier in the show, Zayden High committed to North Carolina on Sunday, so we want to look at what's next in the class of 2023 for the Tar Heels right after I tell you about Nissan. Our partners at Nissan have worked with us to create a new segment across the Locked On College Network titled Thrilling Moments, where we highlight the most exciting play from this past weekend's victory over over Duke. This weekend's thrilling moment for Carolina was the touchdown to seal the victory in the final 16 seconds, the Antoine Green touchdown over who? The Duke Blue Devils on the road at Wallace-Wade Stadium. This was a huge moment for Carolina, down 35-31. Looked like Duke was about to get a touchdown to go ahead with 2.5 minutes left. Missed field goal. Ultimately, Carolina, under the direction of Drake May, drives back down the field, a Heisman-type moment to get out of town with the victory. The Tar Heels are 4-0 on the road, get a week off before hosting Pittsburgh for homecoming. This segment has been inspired by the thrilling new designs featured across Nissan's new lineup of vehicles. Pursue what thrills you in the new Frontier, Armada, or Pathfinder today. Available now at nissanusa.com. So, Mr. Jason Jordan, we're talking with today the Sports Illustrated's Director of Basketball Recruiting. We've talked at length on this show about Zayden High, who becomes now Carolina's second commit in the class of 2023. This is a huge get for the Tar Heels after losing out on G.G. Jackson and T.J. Power, amongst others. And so now you've got these two guys, you've got a stretch four. Makes Hubert Davis very happy to go with just a dude in Simeon Wilcher.
Yeah.
So for Carolina, you look at it and you've got to think you're going to have some more scholarship slots available. Hubert Davis has shown that he not only is willing to, but loves getting into the transfer portal. And so you're like, in this day and age, do you say, hey, we're good with high school seniors and we're going to see what unfolds in the transfer portal? Or do you continue to look for either guys that are currently class of 23, or as you said, maybe somebody who might be reclassifying from the class of 24?
Yeah. So not knee jerk, but the what you better do, and what I know that they're going to do is to hold on. Okay, we got Simeon, we got Zayden. That's an amazing class. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got that. Now let's look at the portal. Because we've done very well in the portal. You know what I'm saying? So I know that they're going to do that, right? But I do think, let's say Elliot's like, "Yep, I'm reclassifying. You got a spot for me?" Yeah, I think we got a spot.
We're gonna figure that out. Yeah,
we'll figure that out. So, but that's definitely the next. 2023. And things could shake out. Like things, people can emerge. I expect Elliot's status in the class to elevate just based off where he's playing this year. And I think a lot of other guys could potentially elevate. Zayden will elevate.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. So that, that kind of trajectory could put someone else on their radar for sure, because that happens all the time. But I think the plan right now is to probably hold out a couple spots for that portal, because now that's the thing. Like, so now you got two of the top 40, 45 players in the high school ranks, senior class. Now you go to the other rankings, which is this is the world we live in. So now you got to go, okay, we got the high school kids. Now, all right, what portal recruits are we gonna get? And so a lot of that shakes out in February and March, and we learn, who's, and yeah, I mean, it never ceases to amaze me who jumps in the portal and for what reason. So, and we've been down that road before, but these are the rules. This is the world we live in, and until they change, I think this is what it's going to be. Like all the coaches at Peachtown were like, "Yo, you better tell them it ain't no more 4 or 5 man classes. That's going to be pretty rare. Only maybe at the top, because we're holding 2 spots out for transfers." And 20 coaches told me that in July.
Wow,
so
that's great.
Yeah,
that's really
world,
interesting thinking. Yes, it is a new world indeed, and that's it's got to be such a oddly disconcerting thing for coaches, especially since we're just still a couple of years into the transfer portal, because it's like it's going to happen. Like for example, if you are Hubert Davis, you've had big time success in the first 2 iterations of the transfer. You're going to have success, but there's still got to be this lingering what if the right dude isn't there, or what? How do you as a head coach, how do you go to bed at night, lay your head on the pillow and just trust that that's all going to play out?
Yeah, because they're all. Here's the thing: when they've even changed, they extend the amount of time in the for people to declare in the you're going to have quality and so you're North Carolina. Let's start there, right? It ain't like you're. Let me not even do that. It ain't like you're not North Carolina.
Yes.
I'm about to get in trouble. It ain't like you're not North Carolina. So you're going to have in that top 20, in the top 40 transfer recruits. I hate to call them that, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
You are going to have your pick of. You can find quality players, and they're going to want to come to you. It's the same thing, and they still want to come to you. Yeah, because a lot of them wanted to be recruited by you anyway.
That's right. To start with. That's right.
Right. So now they're living their dream. I mean, Baylor Sherman talked to me about this. All of these guys, Kendrick Davis talked to me. They're living their dream a little later. It's like a dream deferred. And so now they're getting calls from Hubert. They're getting calls from John Shire and Bill Self and, John Calipari. So they like that. They go through that process. They take visits again. It's like it's like high school all over again. So but
this time they've proven it themselves. Now they've shown it at the college level, and so Baylor Shireman goes and is now at Creighton, and Davis is now at Memphis. Correct, is where Kendrick Davis landed. And so these dudes have done it on the court, and now they've gotten that. And in some ways, that's like, dude, I bet on me, and it's working out.
That's real. Yeah, I mean, and you're even more of a high. I think you're an even higher commodity because you have proven it at this level. Than even a 5-star high school.
Absolutely.
We just don't know,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we see so many of the freshmen coming in who you expect to do it right out of the gate, but they're 18, maybe 19, and it's just not the same level. Now, last question. I know we got to get you out, Jason. You got to get on to some more appointments. But Zayden High, you talked about how you think he is low and a prime candidate to rise in the rankings. And so, here's an example. I had a question on Twitter after his commitment. Is this solid news for North Carolina or very exciting news? And I tend to lean more towards the very exciting because this, in my estimation, is the exact type of stretch four that Hubert Davis wants. I think is lowly rated, and his switch to his school in Arizona, as you said, is going to give him some more just shine and national recognition. Is that in line with what you're thinking about?
100%. Like Zayden's, super skilled, 6'9", stretch four extraordinaire, thriving in the pick and pop, knocking down shots consistently. And that guy, to your point, fit y'all system to it. Y'all got pretty far with a guy who kind of fit the bill of a Zayden High, and Brady Manek. So I definitely think he's, and then in the role that he's in, even at AZ Compass, he's gonna feel that. You'll see, you'll see exactly how he'll fit into that system. And you're like, oh my God, because he knocks down shots from the perimeter, but he's just a knockdown shooter, even mid range. He can, and he he recognizes situations, opens up the floor for spacing just because of his versatility. So he's going to be a guy who will thrive this year, and you'll see how you'll be able to correlate how that will translate into y'all system. 100%. And they'll be on TV a lot, so you'll be able to see them.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure, folks, you tune in and see Zayden High playing. Get excited for his game. Jason Jordan, great stuff as always. Thanks so much, brother. We appreciate you, and welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
That's it for today's episode of Locked On Tar Heels. Thanks so much to Jason Jordan for joining us. Coming up tomorrow, Coach Pat Kilby and I are going to talk more about Zayden High, his game, what his commitment means for the Tar Heels. Can't wait to unpack that. You can follow the show at Locked On Heels on Twitter. You can follow Jason at Jason Jordan SI, and you can follow me at Isaac Shade. If you want to reach out and talk more on Gmail, lockedontarheels@gmail.com. Get more on the ACC by making Locked On ACC your second listen of the day. Host Candace Cooper and the local experts of Locked On take you around the conference in 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Please don't forget to subscribe to the show, smash the like button, leave some comments on your thoughts on Elliot Cadeau. Don't forget to hit the bell on YouTube so you can get notified anytime a new episode drops. Thanks so much for spending part of your Tuesday hanging out with me. I want to remind you that it is always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Until tomorrow, peace.